accounting principle today. Good morning. Good to see you again. Yes, I'm back. All right. I'm just going to do this a simple and straightforward chapter whereby we are just talking about accounting principle today. If you are new, please don't forget to subscribe and also share the video and also comment, please. Then so that you're just gonna be a big family. Then you're welcome. Just sit down and watch Mr. Good. Then it's cruising. Very nice. I'm just gonna give you the introduction of my summary while I was busy doing grade 12. How can I summarize this accounting principle so that you're just gonna be what the little basic on your mind what we're going to do today. All right. Then let's go. Then here we are just gonna look at what is the counting principle. All right. As you know, we're not just about counting. The way counting is means that you're just counting like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then you're just counting. You know, from counting from grade 1 until grade 12, we are just counting. Then here we are still going to look at how to count by using the skill for metric. All right. Therefore, here on the counting principle, I normally say that I'm just having 4 key words that are very important to note them when you're just doing the fundamental concepts, or you're just asking yourself what you don't know on the fundamental counting principle. Okay, the first keyword I normally say that a counting principle is divided into 4 categories. Okay, then our number 1 category is whereby we are just going to look at part 1. Then on part 1, we normally say that we are just going to look at how to create the code and also the password. Here we're just talking about the code as well as the password by using digits. All right. Therefore, as well as student number, here we're just creating the banks, the PIN for banks, anything that can consider numbers. All right, that is going to be part 1 on the counting principle. Part 2 is whereby we are just going to look at Part 2 is whereby we are just going to look at the arrangement of letters. All right. Here on part 2 is to know how to arrange the letters as well as the treatment of letters. All right. That is falling under part 2, and then we have part 3. Part 3, we normally say that is whereby we're just going to look at the gender, the number of boys, the number of girls, arrangement are sitting on the chair. Okay, therefore is falling under part 3. Then our last one is whereby we're just going to look at part 4. Part 4, we normally say that we're just the objects. All right, is whereby just the object or any items like foods, arranging food in a restaurant, items like books, arrangement, shelves. Then that is the summary of a accounting principle for grade 12. That is very, very important to note them before you go to write the accounting principle. You must know how to create the codes and also how to arrange letters, as well grouping a gender, male and female, the number of boys and also the number of girls. The last one is whereby we're just going to look at the object can be cars, arrangement of cars, and also can be food, or can be t-shirt, anything that can be falling under any object. Then it's very, very important to note that. For today, we are just going to look at part 1 only. We are just going to look at part 1. Part 1 is, you know, that we normally say that we are just going to look at how to create the code, how to create the passwords. All right, let's go. Then I normally say that when we are just doing the fundamental counting principle, we normally look at the 4 rules. I have a rule that I normally use when I'm just doing this chapter. Okay, then that rule says that the first rule, we normally look at we normally find out the total number of simple space. Then we are just going to look at the total number of simple space of simple space. All right, that is the first point that I normally look when I'm just talking about the accounting principle. The first thing that you need to find it is a total number of simple space. What is the total number of simple space? We are just looking at how many items that you are just talking about on that moment. Therefore, we call it the total number of simple space. If you are just talking about the digits, how many digits that we have, you need to know a total simple space of of an item. Then after that, the second one, we need to draw the horizontal line. We need to draw a horizontal line. The horizontal line indicates the events. This horizontal line indicates the events. These are the events that we are just going to look. The horizontal line like this one. Have a horizontal line, event 1, event 2, event 3, and event 4. Then after that, we need to put a product between lines. A product between lines. Then a product between lines. What is the product? Product, remember, it is a multiplication sign. All right. Then after that, you punch your calculator. Then after that, you find the solution. The solution must be written in a form of weights. The solution must be written in a form of weights. Like if you are just talking about the number of cars, you make sure that your answer must be 150 cars. Or you make sure when you're just arranging the letters, you make sure that you have 1050 letters. Okay, arrangement. Then you are just going to make sure that your answer must be written in a form of weight. Numbers with weight. Therefore, that is the 4 rules that are very important when you're just going to look at the counting principle. All right, let's go. Then, as I said, that we're just going to look at part 1. All right. Part 1, whereby you normally look at how to create codes and also passwords, okay, and also password. Then on the exam, they're just going to give you a digit. As you know that on the digit we have a digit a digit from 0 up to up to 10, up to 9. Okay, the digits are from 0 up to 9. Then from 9 we have 0, we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5, 6, and 7, and 8, as well as 9. Okay, therefore these are the digits that we have in mathematics. All right, there are 10 digits that we have. Why is it important to note that we have 10 digits? It's because the rule of fundamental will say that find the total number of simple space first. After that, draw the horizontal line to indicate what is the event. Between the horizontal line, we are just going to put a multiplication sign. Then after that, you choose. Then you punch your calculator. Your answer must be written in the form of weight. Then you see it's very simple. Then what is going to happen here? On the part 1, we're just going to look at what is the code. The code, they are just going to be created by looking at the digit. The digit is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. You note that the digit, the total number of space of digits, we have 10 digits as a whole. Okay, it's very important. Then this 10 indicates the total simple space of digits that we're just going to choose randomly. All right. Then, for example, let's do an example here. On the exam, they're just gonna give you the set of digits can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, then end at 8. Then they are not going to give you 9 sometimes. Then you do not count that 9 on the digit that we have. Sometimes they're just going to give you 0 up to 5. Then don't count the other digits. We are just looking at the digit that they are giving you on that particular time. All right? Then what is happening here? We are just having 2 weights that are core weights on the counting principle. We have the first weight that we normally look, that is very important. They are saying that the repetition the repetition of digits, the repetition of digits is allowed. The repetition of digits is allowed, or the repetition of digits may be not allowed. The repetition of digits may not what allowed. Then the repetition is not what allowed. Okay, then we have a repetition of digits. We have a repetition of digits and the repetition of digit may not what allowed. We have two ways that are very important on the fundamental quantum principle. When you just talk about the repetition is allowed, is whereby we are just going to use that number, then you use it, then you give it back on what on the simple space that we just talking about. Okay, but if the repetition is not allowed, the number that we use on the first event, we are no longer going to replace it back on the what simple space. It's very, very important to note that. All right, let's go. There are two ways that are very important. Let's start with what the repetition is allowed. How many codes that are just going to be created? How many codes that are just going to be created? If the code is just having 4 digits, if the code is just having what? 4 digits. How many codes that are just going to be created, or the password that are just going to be created? If the code must have what? 4 digits. These 4 digits indicate what the events, the number of events that we have. We have how many events? We have 4 events. Remember the events will indicate by drawing what is the horizontal line. The rule says that the event must be drawn. A horizontal line indicates what is the event. All right. Then after that, what we're going to do? We are just going to say we have horizontal 1, which is the event 1, horizontal 2, event 2, horizontal event 3, and also event 4. These horizontal line indicates each event on what on the pathway or on the code. As you see, they are just saying that the repetition of digits is allowed. The repetition of what digits is allowed. Then what we're going to do here, we are just going to find out a total number of what simple space. Then you find the total number, how many numbers that you are choosing from. Then let's count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 numbers that we are just choosing from for event 1. Then we write 10. Then you put your multiplication sign between the horizontal line. All right. Then after that, on the event 2, you are just choosing the second digit. Then how many number that you are just going to choose from? If the repetition of digits is allowed, when they're just saying that the repetition of digits is allowed, they are just telling you that the digit that you use on the first event is replaced back to the simple space of what of numbers. Therefore, how many numbers at all? They are just having 10 numbers, and also you're just going to have 10 numbers. The repetition of digits is allowed. What do you notice here? The number of total simple space of digits is remain the same if the repetition of digits is allowed. After that, you punch your calculator. When you punch your calculator, you're just going to get what? 10 times is just going to get what? 10,000 codes. 10,000 codes that are just going to be created. Make sure that your answer is written in the form of what? Weights, all right? As well as if the repetition is not allowed. These 4 digits is just telling you what is the event. How many events do we have? We have 4 events. You see? We have 4 events. Then between the events, what we're going to do? We're going to put what? A multiplication sign. Then after that, you start looking the event 1. Event 1, you're just choosing to how many, because this counting principle is need the total simple space of numbers that you are just choosing from. That is the rule. We need to find the total number of what simple space of numbers that you are just choosing from. How many numbers I'm choosing from? I'm choosing from 10 numbers, digits, okay? Then after that, The repetition, remember the repetition, they say that the repetition is not allowed. If the repetition is not allowed, what you're going to do? The number that you use on the first event is no longer going to go back to the total number of single space, all right? Then that means that you are just throwing away, all right? Therefore, how many numbers that are left in the total single space now? We left 9 numbers. Then we're going to put what? 9 here. Then as well as we use now one number on the 9 numbers, then we left with what? 8 numbers. Then again we use 3 numbers out of 10, then we left with what? 7 numbers. The event, what you notice here, the events we are just talking about what? The total single space of what? Of an event. All right? How many items that you are just choosing from, okay? That is the total single space of each event. After that, you punch your calculator, then you find the number. That number is just going to be what? A number of codes or password that are just going to be created if the digit may not be allowed or the repetition of digits is not what is allowed. All right. Then let's go. Let's do this example. Let's do this example quick. All right, let's go. Let's look at this example. All right. Let's look at what's this example. Mr. Coach. Counting principle is based on what? On the digits, as you know that. The digits, we are using the digits to create a code as well as password as well as the number plate, because nowadays they're just saying what is the code with letters, okay? But we're just going to do the number plate when we're just done with what is letters arrangement, and also we are done with what is a digit. All right, let's go. Then here we are just being told that we have consider the numbers. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That means that we have 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That means that we have how many digits here? We have 8 digits. The total single space of digits that we have. We don't have 10 digits. That is the first thing that is very important to note, that we need to find out what is the total number of what single space that we need to use. All right. Therefore, remember the rule says that you find the total number of single space. After that, you indicate the event by drawing what is the horizontal line. Between the horizontal line, you put the multiplication sign. After that, you punch your calculator. You get what is your solution. All right. Let's go. Number 1, they're just saying that consider the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 7. Then to create the password with what? 5 digits. To create what? A password. That means here all these questions, they are just gonna based on what? Creating password. That password have how many digits? Have 5 digits. Remember, these 5 digits represent what? The events. The events, we only show the event by drawing the horizontal line. We indicate the event by drawing the horizontal line. Okay, let's start with number 1. How many passwords will be created if the digits may be repeated? Yeah. How many passwords may be created if the digits may be repeated? That means the digits, you are just going to use as many as you can. You just use the digits, then you bring it back to the total single space of what? Of digits. Let's go. Then the rule says you draw the horizontal line. This horizontal line indicate what? The events. How many events that we have? 5 events. Between the lines, we're going to put what? A multiplication. Then after that, we are starting with the event 1, okay? Then the repetition of digits is allowed. Then how many digits that I'm just going to choose the first event? I'm just going to choose on what? 8 digits, okay? The repetition, remember, the repetition may be of digits may be allowed. It's allowed because the digit may be repeated as much as many as you can. All right. Then we have 8. Then we use that digit. Then we bring it back on what on the total space. Then we still have what 8 as well as 8 as well as 8 because the repetition of numbers that we use is allowed. That means that we are just going to put it back on the what on the total what simple space. After that, you take your calculator, you multiply. You take your calculator. We have 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8. I don't know. Hey, I forgot my calculator at home. Then now I'm just using this. But it's fine. Just check for me. Then we have 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8. Then the answer is 32,000. The answer is 32,768. What? Password. Password is very important. When you're just writing, your answer must be written in the form of what a way. Then we have password, of code, letters, words. Then it's very important. As you see, I've 8 times 8 times 8. That means you're just going to be creating the 32,768 password if the repetition of digits is allowed by using all of these digits that we have. Okay, this is very simple. Then number 2, how many passwords will be created if the digit may not be what repeated? If the digit may not be repeated, that means the digit we use once, then you cannot bring back on the simple space. Then what we're going to do? The rule. We draw the horizontal line. That horizontal line indicates the number of digits in the password, the event that you're just going to choose from. All right. Then between the horizontal line, you put the multiplication sign. Okay. Then after that, you start with the first event. Then how many digits that we are choosing from? We are just choosing at 8 digits. But the repetition of digits is not allowed. If I choose 1 here, that one I'm no longer going to bring back on the total space. That means that I'm throwing it away. Then I left how many digits now? I left 7 digits. I have 7 digits. Then I use 1 digit out of 7. Then I throw it away. Then I left with what? 6 digits. Because this event, what you notice here, this event, we're just talking about the total single space of item that we're just talking about. Okay? As you know, the first rule, we need to find what the total single space of what of an item. Therefore, we use 6 digits here, we're going to lose 5, and here we're going to use 4 because the repetition is not allowed of digits. Then after that, you punch your calculator. You punch your calculator. We have 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4. Therefore, the answer is 6,000. We have 6,720 passwords. Therefore, we have passwords 6,720 passwords that are going to be created. All right. If the repetition of digits is not allowed, the repetition of digits is allowed to have 32,768. But if the repetition of digits is not allowed, the number of passwords that are just going to be created, they are going to be 6,720 passwords. All right. Can I erase here? So that I'm just going to do this number 3 and number 4, okay? All right, please let me erase number 1. We are done with number 1 and number 2. We are done with number 2. Okay, don't have space. Okay, let me erase. All right. Then number 3. Let's look at what's number 3. Okay, number 3 say that determine the number of passwords that are less than 4,000. That are less than 4,000. Please listen carefully. Determine the number of passwords that are less than 4,000. The repetition of digits is allowed. You see, we have 2 conditions here. we have the repetition is allowed, and also we are just going to look at what only the pass weights that are less than what 40,000. All right, then let's go. 40,000. Let me write here. 40,000. 40,000 is a pass weight. Why is a pass weight? It's because 40,000 consists of how many digits? 5 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means 40,000 is a pass weight as well. But we need the number of what a pass weight that are less than 40,000. Okay, remember when I just talk about the number that is less than, you normally say that it's just the number that is smaller than. Okay, then let's go. Then what we're going to do? We need to find out how many pass weights that are just going to be created that are less than. We have the first condition, and also the repetition of digits is allowed. We have two conditions that is very important to pay attention on. All right. If the number is less than, then what we're going to do? We always look at what is the first event. We always look at what is the first event. If the number is less than, that number is going to be what? A number that is less than 4. A number that is going to be less than 4. Which numbers here on the number list that are less than 4? Those numbers that you're just going to choose here on the list that you're just been given, that number is less than 4. Which numbers is we have 3, we have 2, we have 1, and we have 0. We have a number that are less than how many numbers that are less than on the first event, because the counting principle means what? The total number of things on that event. How many numbers that I'm just going to choose here on the first event? That number they are just going to create the code that is less than what? 4,000. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 numbers that are just going to be what? Less than 4,000. Do you see that? Then after that, they are just saying that the repetition of digits is allowed. The number that I'm just going to use here is just going to be what? We are just going to put it back on what? On the total sample space of numbers. All right. Therefore, that means here and here and here and here, we are just going to look at what? Any number that is on what? On the sample space. But the restriction is only what? On the first one, on the first event. We only look at what? 3, 2, 1, and 0. That number must be less than what? 4,000. Then after that here, we are just gonna use that number. Then we bring it back on the what? On the total space of numbers. How many numbers I have? I have 8 numbers. The repetition of numbers is allowed. I don't care about these events. The only event that was important here, it is the first event to understand less than. Less than means that we are just going to affect the first what? Event. The numbers after the event, they are just going to remain the same because the repetition of digits is allowed. You can put any number here. That code is going to be what? Less than 4,000. All right. But here we are just going to choose on 3 and 2 and 1 and 0. The code must be start with what? These 4 numbers on the first event. So that code is going to be what? Less than 4,000. All right, let's go. Then let's go. You punch your calculator. Let's punch your calculator. 4 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8. I didn't count the number of 8. Okay. 4 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 equals to, then equals to 16,000, equals to 16,384 pass weight. 384 pass weight. Okay, listen carefully. Here on this pass weight, we have a code that is exactly equal to that is exactly equal to okay. Okay. All right, then that is number 3. Then let's do number 4. Okay, let's do number 4. 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 We have number 4 now. We have number 4. Then number 4. What's it going to do here? How many numbers of pass weight will be created that are greater than 40,000 if the repetition of digits is allowed? The repetition of digits is allowed. That means the number, we are just going to use many as much as you can. Then we're going to replace that number on the total symbol space, okay? Therefore, the number is what now? Is greater than 40,000. Is greater than what? 40,000. Mr. Gould says that we draw the horizontal line that indicates what? The total number of what digit that we have. Then we have 5 digits. Between the horizontal line, you put the multiplication sign. Then after that, you look at what each event, how many digits that you can choose on. All right, let's go. Here we have the number that is greater than. This greater than and less than is always affecting what? The first what? Event, the first line. Always affecting the first line. The other event is just remain the same if the repetition of digits is allowed. Okay, let's go. Then it's greater. If it's greater, the number or the code is just going to start with 4 and also 5 and also 6 and also 7. It cannot start with 3 or 2, 1 and 0 here on the first what? On the first event. That means that you're just going to choose on what? How many digits? Well, 4, 5, 6 and 7. You're just going to choose on 4 digits. Therefore, that's the first event. We are just gonna create a code, but that code must start with what? These 4 digits here on the first what? Space. Okay? Then the repetition of digits is allowed. That means that we are just going to use the number here, then we'll put it back on what? On the total subspace of what? Numbers. How many numbers I have in total? I have 8 numbers. I have 8 numbers. I have 8 numbers. I have 8 numbers. They are just asking you only numbers that are greater than. The code that is greater than 40,000. Okay? Then let's note this. If I'm just creating one code, wait. If I'm just creating one code, I'm just gonna choose here because of 4. I'm just gonna choose 4 here. Because here we have 8 digits, that's what I'm just gonna choose on, okay? Maybe I choose 0 because 0 is included. I choose 0 on the first event, and also here I have 8 digits. I'm gonna choose 0, and also here I'm gonna choose 0, and also here I'm going to choose 0 because the repetition of digits is what is allowed. Okay? Do you see we have 0, 0, 0, 0, 0? Here I only choose what? 4. Do you see we have an exactly code that is exactly equals what? 40,000. Do you see that? Because I have 0 here and also 0 here and also 0 here and also 0 here. Therefore, that's why we normally say that if is greater than, we're going to notice that we are just going to minus 1 on the event. 4 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 equals to 16,384 minus 1 code. Why are you minusing 1 code? It's because we have an exact number, an exact code that is equals to what? Equals to 4,000, because 0 is included here, and also 0 is included here on this total number of what? Event, and also here it might be choosing 0 here, and also it might be choosing 0 as well, 0 as well, 0. Therefore, but we need only code that are greater than not equal. Then that's why we normally say that we minus one code, that is gonna be what? 16,383 what? Passwords. Now, then that is gonna be your final answer. Okay, all right. Let me do the last one. Whew. Okay, we have number 4. Number 5, we have number 5. Then we have number 5. Number 5 says that how many numbers of password will be created that are greater than or equals to 14,000. Do you see the restriction? That are greater than or now equals to 4,000 if the repetition of digits is allowed. Therefore, what you're going to do now, you're just going to say that the number of codes is just going to be what? It's going to be 4 times draw 4, 3, 4, 5. You draw 4, we have 4, then we have 8 and 8 and 8 and 8. Therefore, the answer is just going to be what? 16,384 what? Password. Then here is included that what? 40,000 code, because now it's greater or equals to or equal. That means 4,000 is included. But here it was less than, not less than or equal. That means we need to minus one code that is what included here. Then the answer is just going to be equal to 16,384, because it's greater than or equals to 40,000. That is all about the counting principle. We have a lot of examples that we need to complete, so that you're just going to understand this counting principle better. All right. Then sometimes they're just going to ask you the odd numbers, the even number. The code must be an odd number. The code must be what? An even number. And when the repetition of digits is not allowed or is allowed or is not allowed. All right? Then, for example, let me create this one. If they're just saying that the repetition of digits is allowed, how many passwords would be created so that the password would be even number? Then if the repetition of digits, let me write here, if for the repetition of digits, if the repetition of digits, the repetition of digits is allowed, how many passwords that are just going to be created? And the password must be an even number. How many passwords that are going to be created? And the password must be what? An even number. How many passwords? How many passwords that are just going to be created? How many passwords that are going to be created? Passwords that are going to be created. Okay, going to be created if the password would be an even number. Going to be created if the password must be an even number. If the password must be an even number, even number. Okay, let's go. An even number. The repetition of digits is allowed. All right. Then what are you going to attack this question? Then you start here, you draw the horizontal line. This horizontal line indicates what? The events that you're just going to look at. All right, let's go. Then what are you going to do here? we're going to have a password that is an even number, and the digit may be repeated. The repetition of digit is allowed. All right. A number that can be an even number is very important to note that that number must be exactly ends with what the even numbers. All right. Remember, when I talk about the even numbers, we normally say that are all numbers that are ends with what 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, those numbers we call them are the even number because they are just gonna end with what 0, 2, 4, 6, what 8. All right, that means that here now we are just going to add what the last what event because the code must be what an even number. Then here on the even on the last position we are just going to look at what is 0, 2, 4, 6. Okay, here because we have only these what even numbers. We don't have 8 here. Don't put 8. We are just using the digits that we have. All right. That means here on this event, we are just going to choose on how many even numbers that we have. We have 4 even numbers, all right? Then you put a multiplication sign, a multiplication sign, a multiplication sign. Then the code must be what? An even number. Then here we don't care about a number that we're going to choose here. Then the only thing that is important is the last event. That event must end with 0 and 2 and 4 and what and 6. Then here we don't care. We are just using the number. You bring back on what on the total same space of numbers. Then how many numbers that I'm just going to have? I'm just going to have 8 numbers. 8 numbers because the repetition of digits is allowed. Therefore, we use the number. You bring it back on what on the total same space. And the total same space is remain the same to be what 8 numbers. All right. The only space that is affected it is what it is the last space. Okay. Then homework now. Let me give you homework. I don't have a space now on my phone. The phone is just saying that I don't have a space. Can you please play for me sticks? Oh, I'm just helping you. All right, the homework. Go ahead and find for me if the repetition of digits is not allowed. If the repetition of digits, if the repetition of digits, is allowed. If the repetition of digits is allowed, and the password must be an odd number. A password and the password and the password must be an odd number. That is your homework. How many passwords that are just going to be created here? Password must be what? An odd number, and the password must be greater than 2000. Yeah. Then the password must be greater than 20,000. Must be greater than 20,000. Must be greater than 20,000. Yes. Yeah. Then it's gonna be what? Maybe 3 marks. Yeah. Yeah. The repetition of digits is allowed. The password must be an odd number, and the password must be greater than 20,000. Remember, the password must have what? 5 digits. Okay. Therefore, how many passwords that are just going to be created? Then, if the password is an odd number and the password is greater than 20,000, that means we are just going to look at what 2 events that are just going to be affected. The first event and also the last event. Then you are just gonna send to me that homework. Then tomorrow we are starting the letters, the arrangement of what letters then until we finish the accounting principle of what parties. All right, then make sure that you practice what I learned. Then you're still doing the same thing, the same application. You look at what the total number of what simple space, what I was just talking about, the event, you're just going to indicate by drawing what the horizontal line. Between the horizontal line, you put what the multiplication sign. Then after that, you punch your calculator, you write your answer in weights. Okay, therefore, yeah, that is simple as that. It's just my summary. Okay, mistake wood. Don't forget to subscribe and also share the video. Thank you.